Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another Search Engine Journal webinar. It's a lovely day here in West Virginia, and we're so excited to have you here with us. Today, we are joined by DJ Sprague of Shopper Approved, who will be sharing insights to help you drive traffic and conversions. It's those three secrets that Amazon doesn't really want you to know about, but we're going to give them to you today. So, if you think about it, as shoppers ourselves, we know how reviews and ratings impact our purchase behavior. I know for me specifically, I look at reviews, which certainly have swayed my decisions for purchasing previously. Today, DJ is going to review strategies that you can use to drive organic traffic to your e-commerce site and increase conversions once you have them there. My name is Heather Campbell, and I'll be your moderator today. DJ, thanks for being with us. Can you tell us a little bit about you and Shopper Approved before we get into some webinar housekeeping tips?
Thanks, Heather. Yeah, absolutely. I'm CMO here at Shopper Approved. Our parent company is Trust Brands. We have major clients around the world, primarily in the US. We significantly help drive traffic and conversions through user-generated content, ratings, reviews, videos, Q&A, FOMO tools, etc. We've got well over 7,000 URLs that we serve. We've collected over 55 million reviews in the past 11 years we've been in business. And we are more and more moving into the full funnel solution to drive both organic and paid traffic, as well as conversion optimization once they're on the website.
That's great. I mean, that full funnel experience, I mean, if you can get that from one tool, that's impactful, right? So, for those of you who aren't sure, FOMO tools would be fear of missing out. So, if you don't have Urban Dictionary open, just so you know. So let's go over some. Yeah, right. So let's just go over some quick housekeeping tips, and then we're going to let DJ take it away for you all. So if during this training presentation you have any questions or comments, please put them in the question box at the bottom of your screen. And as you're learning and taking in this information, please make sure that you ask for further clarification. Chances are you're not the only one who's thinking about it. So we'll also be throwing in a couple poll questions through this training where you'll be able to participate and give us your thoughts. And your participation really helps our engagement score and also lets our speakers know, gauge your knowledge and speak to that. So, we at SEJ have a personal goal to hit an engagement score of 70. So your participation is so important to help us reach that goal. The last webinar that we had was about 68, so we're trying to beat that. We're going to switch it up and maybe take some of your questions during the webinar if they're relevant to the topic that DJ is going over. So make sure you keep those questions coming in, right from the start. And we'll also have a Q&A at the end of the presentation. So fear not if we don't get to it during. We'll also do our best throughout to link to any resources or tools in the chat. But if we miss one, make sure you say something and ask in that questions box. And more importantly, after the webinar, please stick around for a short survey. It won't take more than 5 minutes. This information helps us gauge what works and how we can make SEJ webinars better for all of our attendees. And lastly, you will receive this full recording of this training later today, so expect that in your inbox a couple hours afterwards. And so that's enough from me. Without any further delay, let's get to it. DJ, it's all yours.
Thanks again, Heather. Before we get started, I just want to preface with the fact that this has been an ongoing research program that we've been involved in, consisting of primary and secondary research, including consumer surveys, qualitative and quantitative data, longitudinal case studies, as well as looking at research and case studies from CRO and SEO, third-party experts, looking at accepted best practices, and combining that with observational data. So this is going to be just the tip of the iceberg in terms of the data and insights we're going to be sharing. But we will be sending out an invitation to download an ebook that we put together, as well as some infographics, case studies, etc. So if you don't feel like all of the questions are being answered here, I'm sure those will be answered in the follow-up. So to get started, key takeaways. Amazon has a traffic and conversion secret that you can use, and we call this the traffic and conversion stack. That's not the Amazon name, that's the name we've given it. 91% of consumers surveyed prefer the traffic and conversion stack over a website that does not have it, and we'll be getting into that. And Google is in fact looking for it, and we'll be getting into that as well. And when applied, the traffic and conversion stack has increased organic traffic 4x and conversion rate up to 9x. So very powerful information, again, backed by a lot of data, a little bit of which we'll be looking at today. So we wanted to know how effective the Amazon traffic and conversion stack was at driving trust and conversions. This was our first question, first premise. Everybody's very familiar with Amazon, of course. This is what we call the traffic and conversion stack. It consists of product ratings and reviews, product Q&A, and a secure transaction seal right on the product page. Now, there's more to the traffic and conversion stack that includes videos, FOMO, et cetera, but we're going to get into that a little bit later. But for now, we're referring to the TNC stack as these three items. Now, notice there's two clusters here. Cluster one is your product ratings and reviews right next to your product Q&A. Very well combined, exactly where you want to see them, because this is where you're going to get all of your product questions, concerns answered between the ratings and reviews and the product Q&A. And then right down here at the moment of truth, where you're going to either add it to your cart or buy now, is that secure transaction seal. Very important, because the vast majority of consumers, in fact, 9 out of 10, really want to see a secure transaction seal, not just in the URL, they want to see it actually on the website, both in the cart and in the product page. So we'll get into that as well. So it's not just Amazon that's using the traffic and conversion stack. All the leading e-commerce sites are using it, including Home Depot, Lowe's, Best Buy, Target, Walmart, thousands of others. These are just some examples to show you that this is not an anomaly to Amazon, but this is something that's widely adopted through the leading e-commerce sites, having your product Q&A and your product ratings and reviews clustered right next to each other. This has kind of become the standard user experience that consumers have come accustomed to, and in fact want and are looking for. And Google's looking for the same thing. So poll question number one: if a product page has positive product reviews, a Q&A section that answers your product questions, and a secure transaction seal, are you more likely to buy? Okay, so moving on. Again, this was based on a national survey of 600 US adults. We actually did two different surveys, so a total of 1,200 US adults, giving us a 95% confidence factor in the outcome. The first question was, take a look at these two similar product pages. Which one are you more likely to buy from? These were randomized, so option A and option B were served in random order, so there was no order bias in the outcome. And what we found was that 88% of the survey respondents said that they would rather buy from option A. Option A, of course, has the traffic and conversion stack with the product ratings reviews, the Q&A, and the secure transaction seal. Probably no surprise. By the way, doing some research, Amazon converts at 74% on their product pages from Prime members, and an average of 10 to 15% conversion rate on product pages from non-Prime members. So a lot of that is probably coming from the fact that they have the product ratings reviews, they have the Q&A, and the secure transaction seal. The average conversion rate on an average e-commerce site, by the way, on a product page is 8%. Obviously, it's about 3% overall total traffic, but it's about 8% on a product page. So with Amazon converting at 10 to 15% for non-Prime and 74% for Prime members, that tells you that they've got this thing figured out. So we then wanted to know if the traffic and conversion stack was also effective at driving trust and conversions on a non-Amazon site. So we served up a fictitious site, and again, we asked the same question: which of these two pages would you rather buy from, A or B? And the answer was B at 91%. So 9 out of 10 said they'd rather purchase from option B with the traffic and conversion stack. Now, why the difference between 88% on Amazon and 91% on a non-Amazon site? My hypothesis is simply that they're more comfortable and confident and trust Amazon more going in. So it's not as important to have those trust signals as it is on a non-Amazon site. But for a non-Amazon site, again, a little over 9 out of 10 adults really prefer this user experience. We then wanted to know how influential product ratings and reviews were on the buying decision. So we asked the question, how much do product reviews influence your buying decision? 68% said product reviews have a high or very high influence on their buying decisions. The next question was, how often do you read reviews when searching for a product online? And 69% said most or all the time. So obviously these answers are very much in line with one another. We then wanted to know how effective Q&A was on the product page at driving trust and conversions. So we asked the question, how important is having a question and answer or Q&A section on a product page when searching or researching a product to buy? And 94% said moderately to extremely important. So again, 9 out of 10 people want to see Q&A on a product page. We then asked if a product page has a Q&A section that answers your product questions, are you more likely to buy? And 94% said yes. We then wanted to know how effective secure transaction signals were at driving trust and conversions. So we asked, how important is having a secure transaction link that shows that your information is safe when buying online? And in this case, 83% said very important or extremely important. So 8 out of 10 adults. We then asked if a product page has a trusted secure transaction link next to the Buy Now button, are you more likely to buy? 88% said yes. So 9 out of 10 adults would like to see a secure transaction seal or link next to the Buy Now button. Okay, poll question 2. Do you typically click on the top 1 or 2 organic search results that best answer your product question?
We have about half of the people voted. If you give it just one more second, DJ, we'll see if we can get a couple more in there. We're at 66%. Can we get to 70? We did. How about 75? Almost there. All right. I'm going to close this poll for you, DJ.
Okay, thank you. So that leads into the next series of questions that we wanted to survey. We wanted to know how effective Q&A search results were at driving trust and clicks. And I'm not seeing the poll results, by the way. So if you want to give us those poll results.
Let me share those again. I think it closed just a little early. So we had 81% who said yes. You know, they click on those top organic results.
Okay, 88% said yes. And what about the first poll? What was the results on that? I did not see those either.
Let me see. Can we pull those back up? Yeah, and there's the first one. So 58% said that they were very likely, if the product has positive reviews, Q&A, they're more likely to buy. So 58% said very likely, and followed by 39% said likely.
Okay, so 58% very likely on poll question 1, and poll question 2 was 70%?
We had 80% on that very first one.
80%, okay.
81% said yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. So very much in line with what we found. So again, we want to know how effective Q&A search results were at driving trust and clicks. And the first question we asked in this series of questions, and by the way, again, we're just showing a few of the questions and answers. We had many, many more, but we don't have time to get into all of those. But again, we'll share those with you in a follow-up. So the first question was, if you asked a product question in Google and the answer came up at the top of the search results, how likely are you to visit that website? And 73% were highly or extremely likely to visit that website if the question to their answer showed up at the top of a organic search result, which of course makes sense. We all pretty much surf and shop in the same way. We all have the same general characteristics, the things we're looking for in terms of trust signals, building confidence from a website or a product. We all act very much the same, and this has been proven out through behavioral economics studies, et cetera, et cetera. The next question was, would a website that answered your question and showed up at the top of the Google search results increase the perceived credibility of that website? And in this case, 80% or 8 out of 10 said, yes, the credibility would go up if the search results were at the top of the Google search. We then wanted to know how the traffic and conversion stack aligned to the Google Search Quality Evaluator guidelines. Now, if you're not familiar with this, and few people are, it's about a 140-page manual or document that Google comes out with every year. And they use this document to train their human website rankers. They have over 10,000 human website rankers around the world that physically look at websites and they give them a score. And that score is based on the EAT guidelines. EAT stands for expertise, authority, and trust. Google, of course, is looking for the most authoritative content, the most expertise content, and the most trusted websites to serve up at the top of organic search results. They want to make sure that their users have the best user experience, and that's what people come back to Google for. If they don't serve up quality content, trustworthy content, authoritative content, then Google wouldn't be the top search engine that it is. And of course, that's how they make money. So they want to make sure that they're serving up the most authoritative and trustworthy content. So their algorithm and their human evaluators are looking for the same things: expertise, authority, and trust. And by the way, the human evaluators are used to kind of be a check and balance against the automatic algorithms and vice versa. So they're always using the human guidelines and scores against the algorithm to make sure that there's nothing out of sync, and making sure that the algorithm is in sync with what the humans are saying. So SEJ, by the way, if you haven't seen it or downloaded it yet, they just recently came out with an ebook called Your Guide to Google EAT. I recommend you download that and check that out. It's on their website. There's many books, articles, white papers, etc., on this topic because it's huge. And there's a real strong correlation between the Google manual ranker EAT guidelines and your SEO. So I took some copy directly from the training manual. And again, this is for the humans. And it says, reputation research is necessary for all websites you encounter. Use reputation research to find out what real users think about a website. Look for reviews. It also says, we consider a large number of positive user reviews as evidence of a positive reputation. And when interpreting customer reviews, try to find as many as possible. So here's Google telling their human evaluators or rankers to look for not only reviews left by real people, but positive reviews and a lot of reviews. So again, statistically, they want to see as many reviews as possible so that it can't be gamed, and they want to see as many positive reviews as possible to give it a strong trust score in their algorithm. And then SpyFu just came out last month, July 2021, with an article as well, titled EAT, the Google Quality Rubric to Follow for Better Rankings. And I'm just taking an excerpt from this article, but they also talk about the need for ratings and reviews to drive up your SEO score. But they also say invest in security. Security is a big deal for Google. In Google's view, secure sites are more trustworthy. Your goal is to create the most trustworthy website possible. Both Google and your website visitors will reward you for it. And that's absolutely true. Google's looking for the same thing your shoppers are looking for: trustworthiness, expertise, authority, quality content, etc. So it's no surprise that Google is telling their manual or human rankers to look for the same things that their algorithm is looking for and the same things that your shoppers are looking for. It's all aligned, it's all the same trust signals. So at the end of the day, there are three critical trust questions both Google and shoppers have. One, can I trust this seller or merchant or website? And that's going to come through Google Seller Ratings, which is a rating and review on the merchant or the seller and the purchasing experience and everything that the seller is providing, i.e. shipping, services, customer support, returns, etc. Then the second question is, can I trust this product? And that's going to come through product ratings and reviews, video reviews, and product Q&A. That's where all those trust signals are going to come from on a product. And then third, is this a secure site? Can I trust my credit card, my personal information with this website, with this shopping cart, with this purchase experience? So these are what I call the 3 trust questions that must be answered in the affirmative to increase your conversion rate and improve your SEO. Because obviously, if Google doesn't trust the website or the security of the transaction or the product, you're not going to get good organic rankings. And of course, if the shopper can't answer all 3 of these questions in the affirmative with confidence, they're not going to convert. So these are 3 critical trust questions that must be addressed and answered and continuously improved. So now the big question, how can you create a traffic and conversion stack? Well, this is the traffic and conversion stack that Shopper Approved has created, and it looks like this. We have seller ratings, product reviews, video reviews, product Q&A, and what we call review destinations. And what this does is it populates the organic search results as well as the paid search results. It populates your Google Shopping, your product listing ads, your video results. It also populates third-party open review platforms with your ratings reviews. So you have a good, even score across the web on multiple review platforms, including reseller ratings, Trustpilot, SiteJabber, BBB, etc., as well as your own website and the Shopper Approved certificate. So this gives you a lot of visibility, a lot of SEO value, and a lot of what I call pre-conversion trust. Because the fact that you've got ratings reviews across the web and multiple search results, and you've got high organic listings, you're going to be trusted and you're going to be seen as a more viable, authoritative resource, and that's going to drive more traffic to your website. So this is the SEO, visibility, traffic conversion part of it. Then we get into the actual on-page experience on your product pages, where you'll have seller ratings, product reviews, video reviews, product Q&A, social evidence or FOMO, and website security. And again, FOMO or social evidence is things like, 97 people recently bought this. Mike Smith in your area just purchased this or just signed up for this. Or here's the latest 5-star review on this product. That's the kind of FOMO we're talking about here. Of course, you've all been to travel sites, Travelocity, etc., where they'll say, 3 rooms available at this price or 2 more seats left on this flight. Obviously, that's going to drive a sense of urgency, and that's what FOMO is all about. It helps drive conversions. So when you bring all this together, seller ratings, product reviews, video reviews, Q&A, FOMO or social evidence, and website security, you've essentially mitigated or removed all of the concerns or friction points that people have about buying, engaging, or converting on your site, because you've answered all the product questions, you've answered the security concerns, you've answered the concerns about the efficacy or the quality of the seller, the vendor, and the product through all this wonderful content. This is an example of one of our clients that's using the traffic and conversion stack, again, with ratings reviews, Q&A, and the secure transaction seal right here at the moment of truth, add to cart. The consumer can click on that and they'll get confirmation that this website is in fact scanned and secure against malware, spyware, etc. So this is also a great example of how the traffic and conversion stack, and particularly product Q&A, drives long tail search results. So imagine having thousands of these long tail search results for your organic search, where you're answering the specific question that a shopper has around your products. Now this is showing an example in a featured snippet, often called position 0. So here's this client, obviously much smaller than Amazon, beating out Amazon because of this search optimized Q&A mechanism. So this is an opportunity for this e-commerce site to drive a ton of traffic to their website, drive that pre-conversion, create that trust, and get a lot of visibility to their site, even above Amazon, by having this featured snippet served up in position 0 in the organic search results. And what that's done over the years is increase their organic traffic by over 400%. Now, when people come in through those Q&A searches or engage in the Q&A on the website, they have found that they convert about 75% of the time. Now, remember, we said in the beginning that Amazon Prime members on average convert at 74%. Here's a non-Amazon site converting at basically the same percentage, 75% of the time, by using essentially the same strategies and tools: product reviews, product Q&A, website security. So this is a great example of how you can directly not only compete with, but often beat Amazon in the search results and the conversion rate. So the key takeaways: Amazon has proven the traffic and conversion stack is best practice, as well as thousands of other leading e-commerce sites, as we showed you. 91% of consumers surveyed verify that they want the traffic and conversion stack. And we proved it can increase organic traffic 4x and conversion rate by 9x. By 9x, I mean that the average product page converts at 8%. So if you're converting at 75% or thereabouts, that's a 9x improvement. And Shopper Approved is the only company that offers it. And we've built a full funnel traffic and conversion stack that improves all of your marketing KPIs throughout the conversion funnel to drive more traffic, visibility, clicks, conversion, AOV, etc. So we're really excited about this. We spent many, many months doing the research, putting this product together, testing, verifying, surveying, validating, etc. And that's it. That's all I have on that.
Awesome.
So,
It was, yeah, sorry. Go ahead, finish that. I'm sorry.
I just want to thank everybody for attending, and hopefully you learned a lot. Obviously, we're going to follow up and provide you a link to the ebook, the studies, case study, etc., so you can dig deeper and learn more about the power of the traffic and conversion stack.
Awesome, thanks, DJ. So don't everybody leave yet, because we're doing Q&A. So we definitely have some questions, but thanks, DJ, for all of the information. So one of the questions, because we did have some people come in late, can you just reiterate, how many participants were polled for this survey?
Absolutely. So we did two surveys. We did 600 U.S. adults for the traffic and conversion stack. And we did another survey just on product reviews with another 600 adults. So ultimately 1,200 people were surveyed.
Okay, perfect. And so I know you can't see them, but we definitely have some, not even so many questions. I've never seen this many thank yous in the questions box. So you definitely have some thank yous, and there were some folks that had found this very informative. So let's see what else we can give them. One thing I do want to make clear is that you all will receive this webinar recording with the video and the slides shortly after this presentation today. So with that, let's get into it.
Great.
If I can get to the right screen. Alrighty then. So Samir is asking how the product images impact the buyer, and how many images of a single product should there be? Is there a magic number for that?
It's a great question. I would say you need as many images as you need to really tell the story and show the applications, the quality, the dimensions of that product. You've got to understand what's important to the buyer. And if they think that a specific angle or attribute of that product is important, then you need to show that. But let me support that with some research. On YouTube, the #1 video category is product review videos. We all thought it was funny cat videos, but it's actually product review videos. So people really do want to see imagery. They want to see videos of product comparisons, product unboxing, product side-by-sides, product in usage, product reviews, etc. So obviously video is another source of imagery, but anything you can do to create that credibility through video and or still images and high quality is very, very important. In fact, when you look at Amazon best practices that they talk to their sellers about, use high quality images and use as many as you can. Now, obviously, we're not talking about Amazon here, but anything that is important on Amazon is also important on your website. because ultimately that's kind of what you're competing with. So at the end of the day, you want to create the kind of user experience and trust and credibility that is already resident on Amazon, and you want to replicate that as much as possible. Good product descriptions, details, etc. So I hope we answered that well enough.
Yeah, and let's be clear, when DJ says high quality photos, we're not talking high resolution. There's a difference, because if you upload the high res photos, you're going to tank the load speed on your site. So make sure that it's high quality, meaning that, you know, they're not blurry, they're not fuzzy in any way, they're not pixelated. So using the low resolution version, but making sure that it's high quality. Great.
Exactly.
So Nancy is asking, how can you check the questions a potential customer has for your product? So basically, I think what we're trying to get to here is, how do we know what questions to answer, right?
Perfect. So I would start with using your FAQ. If you have an FAQ, convert that to Q&A to start with. Look at your help tickets. Survey your salespeople. Survey your support people. Anybody in your organization that talks to or touches the customer, ask them, what are the questions people have about this product or service? Those are some good places to start. But also, a good Q&A tool will have an open response mechanism whereby the shoppers, the customers, can ask a question. And even if you don't have the answer to it, you can then answer that later and then email them and say, here's the answer to your question. So you want to use organic means, and you want to use your own mechanical means by using your own people, your own staff. You can run a survey by email to your current and past customers and prospects and say, hey, when you looked at our website or you looked at this product, what were the questions you had that we didn't answer?
That's great. And so if you have a call tracking tool, you can also sometimes, if you record conversations, you can go back through and listen to those and see if customers are asking the same questions over and over again. So it's a great, some great ideas to find that information.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And also,
don't forget about your employees.
Sorry, your
DJ,
employees,
go ahead.
yes. And your search bar on your website, if you have one. Look at the search history and see what questions people are asking. That'll help you with both your user experience, your navigation, but also help answer questions about products and services.
For sure. So Craig is asking, do you provide professional services to make sure everything is integrated correctly? So that would be, you know, the Shopper Approved platform.
Yes, good question. We have a full onboarding and integration team that white glove the whole thing. So we do the layout, for example, that RV upgrades example I showed you. We did that layout for them. We put it in their sandbox. They looked at it, said, love it, push it live, away you go. So, you know, we take care of all that integration setup.
Yeah, because we all know that onboarding a new platform, that's the biggest beast, right?
Right.
So Beth has a good question, and I know that these are hard to answer because sometimes you don't know the breadth of it, right? But let's see if we can get her an answer. So how much time per week or month would be needed to maintain my site's product listings once they're set up? So how often should she be going in and checking them, optimizing them?
Yeah, good question. Well, let's assume you have product Q&A and you have product reviews. You want to respond to as many product reviews as possible. You want to answer all the product questions you possibly can if the community hasn't answered them or your employees haven't answered them. You also want to be looking at ways to improve the keywords in your product descriptions. So always be doing your keyword research, whatever keyword research tool you're using, and there are many. Make sure that you've got those keywords where applicable, because you don't want to do, you know, keyword stuffing, but where the keywords are applicable in your product descriptions so that you have a better chance of showing up in those search results. By the way, little SEO tip, if you also have those keywords in your Q&A, that's going to help with that SEO as well. And of course, you can put keywords in your product review responses. So when you're talking to somebody about a product review they left, you can insert, where applicable, a keyword to help with the SEO there. So there's many ways that these tools help with SEO beyond obviously your product descriptions. But how long? How aggressive are you? How competitive is your space? Obviously, you have a very competitive space. You can spend more time than if you have a less competitive space.
Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question, Beth. So we have a question, and I'm sorry, I really don't know how to pronounce this name, so we're just going to say Z. I'm a book merchant and sell books on Amazon, books whose sales listings already exist in the Amazon database. I can't really create a Q&A section there. How can I use this stack if I'm not able to really do my own reviews?
Yeah, if you're already selling on Amazon and you're exclusively on Amazon, obviously the stack is there in Amazon. If you're not selling in Amazon, this is where this would be applicable. So I really couldn't help you there if you're exclusively on Amazon.
Okay. All right. So Doman has a question. If we have a new e-commerce site, how do we get the biggest amount of user reviews in a short period of time?
Great question. So Shopper Approved has a unique review collection process that collects up to 10 times more reviews than other review platforms, simply because that seller review comes up right after they purchase. So while they're still on the site, they're still in the moment, you get a seller review request in line. So you get a lot of seller reviews quickly. In terms of product reviews, obviously you want to send the product review as soon as the product is delivered, and then review reminders if they don't respond to that first request. So those are two ways you can get a lot of both seller and product reviews.
Great. So Dustin's asking, did price have any effect on the trust between the customer and the traffic conversion stack? Did you guys look at price, or, how did you kind of assess that?
That's a great question. We did not really look at price independently, but obviously you have to be competitive. You have to build value. So if you have a product that has a relatively high price, it's even more important to have those images, those videos, those reviews, because you really have to build value, and you want the community to help you build value as much as possible. So that's really a value story to justify the price, right? You need to be competitive if you have competitors, and your competitors are easy to find and easy to find their pricing. If they're not easy to find, or you don't have competitors, then obviously that's not as much of a challenge. But you always have to build value, especially with products that affect your health, your finances or economics, or expensive products.
That's a great point, being competitive. So Alan wants to know, DJ, we have a very small professional services businesses trying to build SEO to rank higher. We're not e-commerce. Is there any way to integrate the Q&A piece into a website? I like this question. Into a website, and does it make sense to do it in this situation? We do customized college tours for families, so each client's different.
Q&A can absolutely be used in a non-e-commerce environment. So we're talking to parents and students of a university or college. There's going to be a lot of questions. I probably spent more time researching my graduate school and program than anything. Yes, you want to really make sure that you're answering those consumers' questions in a Q&A. The neat thing about Q&A is it really helps your SEO, your organic traffic, which is high value traffic. But it also really increases time on page. And this is something we didn't talk about earlier, but when you've got Q&A and you have ratings and reviews, it increases time on page and reduces bounce and abandonment rate. That obviously is an SEO signal to Google, because what Google doesn't like to see is a low engagement or a low time spent on page. So by having these assets, you can improve your SEO and your conversion, whether it be a product, a service, or in your case, not even really selling those, you're just booking a campus tour. Does that help?
Yeah, I think so.
Question. Let me circle back to that real quick. There's another way to address that pricing issue, and that is bundling. So even if you have competitors and they're selling the same product at the same price or a little lower even, if you can create a unique bundle and show value in that bundle, that becomes now a unique product or a unique SKU that the competitors don't have. So think about bundling. Bundling is very powerful. It helps you increase your average order value, or AOV, and puts you in a unique perspective from the competition. So I just wanted to circle back to that.
And I think that's a great point. And we actually have another question from Samir that's kind of similar. And so does grouping the products, and not exactly bundling, but does grouping the products together, which could be bundling, but basically like sunglasses with a cover, so there's your bundle, would help increase the revenue. So to that point, Samir, I think we kind of answered your question as well.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So Cindy has a question, and I'm going to add to yours just a little bit, Cindy. So she's asking any recommendations for a brand new e-commerce site. So you kind of touched on that. Let's talk about, we were a new one and we want to build reviews in a short period of time. What about incentivizing? What is the rules for incentivizing for reviews?
So if you're working with a Google review partner, which we are, and there's only a handful of them, what that means is that the reviews you collect through our platform, Shopper Approved, are syndicated to Google. So those will show up in your paid or organic search results, your product search results, etc. And it's very important to have a Google review partner. Otherwise, the only place they show really is on your website. So that can help you with that pre-conversion, that traffic, or that SEO. But backing up, for the new website, if you don't have reviews yet, try to get some testimonials. Try to ask your customers for a testimonial or review video. Those optimize really, really well in organic search results on YouTube. They're very powerful on your website. So kind of seed it or jumpstart it with doing whatever you can in the interim to get testimonials, video reviews, etc., until you can start to collect those Google reviews for your website and your products. Also, for a new site, again, content is king. You want to make sure you've got great descriptive, unique content, great product descriptions, product images, product videos. Do everything you can to really pump up your product pages with really good, engaging, informative, helpful, educational content. For example, how-to content. How do I use this product? How does this product compare to another product? What are the top 5 products in this category? That kind of content optimizes really, really well.
Yeah, those are all great points. So Sammy is asking how the Amazon algorithm works as to what products rank higher than others, keeping the 3 points in place for all of the products under a particular category.
Well, there's over 200 data points in the algorithm. So, and they change it all the time and nobody really knows, just like nobody really knows the secret formula for Coca-Cola. And Google keeps that secret for a reason, so you can't game it and manipulate it. But directionally, it's unique content. It's trust. Again, we talked about those trust signals and those trust questions. Google's looking for the same answers as the consumers are. So you want to have obvious, secure transaction seals. You want to have ratings and reviews that hopefully are from a Google partner. You want to have unique content. All of that's going to be important. So, we can't go through all of the 200 data points because only Google knows what those are. But directionally, what you're looking for is the same thing your customers are looking for. Good, quality, detailed, unique information, content, how-to information, images, ratings and reviews, etc. We're all looking for the same thing. If you're looking for it, so are your customers, and so is Google.
And that's really a great point. I mean, I think one of the key takeaways that people and marketers, and I've done it myself, forget is that put yourself in the customer's shoes and think about how your purchase behavior is. Think about, when you're buying a shirt or when you're buying, a printer online, whatever that might look like, right? You want to have that same experience for your customers as you would expect from that vendor as well.
So looking back at Zappos, when Zappos started out, I'm sure y'all are familiar with Zappos, the online shoe retailer, which got bought by Amazon. They were a brand new shoe retailer, and what they did, it was kind of a classic marketing risk reversal play. Risk reversal means that, look, we're a new vendor, you've never heard of us. We know it's risky buying online, especially back when they started out in the early 2000s. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the risk on us. You buy as many shoes as you want. We're going to pay for the shipping to your house. And if you don't like the shoes, we'll pay for the shipping back. So there's no risk, right? Because that's always the risk in buying something online. Oh, I got to pay for the shipping. They got to pay for the return shipping. That's probably as much or more than the product itself. So I'm not going to do it. So look for risk reversal opportunities to provide guarantees, warranties, free shipping, etc., because that's all going to help mitigate the risk and facilitate a conversion.
Great. So Zohab has a question. I'm working on an e-commerce website, so it doesn't sound like it's up yet. Even though, oh, it is live. Okay, even though I've used all the SEO techniques, I'm still not getting enough organic traffic. I'm sure that I have used the right keywords with low competition and medium search volume, but still not getting that traffic. So anything that you can suggest for them?
Not to sound like a product pitch, but the Q&A tool really does help. All Q&A tools are not created equal. Some are search optimized, some are not. They're just kind of there in name only. So you want to make sure that your Q&A tool is search optimized, which means it's going to create a subfolder in your website with the question and answer that Google can quickly crawl and index and serve up at the top of the search results, typically in a featured snippet scenario. Also make sure that you submitted manually your sitemap to Google. A lot of people miss that step, and it takes Google a long time to crawl and index your site, especially if you're making changes. So anytime you make significant changes, resubmit that sitemap manually. Backlinking is very important, and of course, quality content. So always be creating new content and creating new backlinks.
Great. So Christine, we have a few, we do have a few more questions and we've got some time. So if you all have any more, please send them through. We have a question from Christine and she's asking, she has her own website and she's showing more sample pages on her site and links back to Amazon to purchase the book. Can she build something that will bring the buyers back to her website or back to the website to purchase books on Amazon? She's adding products that complement her books, such as backpacks, pillows, etc. So
you're looking for those affiliate commissions, I'm sure. Yes, you can put together a list of links. Make sure you get your affiliate, credits for that. But here's some recommended products that will supplement or augment or enhance this purchase, or recommended additional products on a landing page, as well as an email. So you can put those on a product page, a dedicated landing page, and or an email with those links to those recommended products to get your affiliate commission.
Great. This is an interesting question from Peter. I like this. So Peter's saying 99% of their sales are on Amazon and that they've accumulated a lot of great reviews. So good job, Peter. You must have a good product out there. So they're now building sales channels outside of Amazon. So how can they use the Amazon reviews on their new channels?
As far as I know, you cannot export the Amazon reviews on new channels. You're going to have to start from scratch because those are Amazon proprietary reviews. A Google Review Partner, by nature of being a Google Review Partner, you agree to allow your customers to export and keep those reviews indefinitely. So a review platform can't hold their clients hostage, but as far as I know, Amazon does.
Okay, great. So a question that, has been kind of in the back of my mind as we've been going through these questions and through the presentation, DJ, is, what about bad reviews? We're talking about, how these reviews really impact purchases. What happens with bad reviews? How do we handle those?
Yeah, that's a perfect question because we're all going to get them, right? Every vendor, every product, every person is not perfect. There's going to be issues, whether it's on your end or the shipper's end or the manufacturer's end, there's going to be issues. So the main thing is you want to respond to those reviews. Never ignore them. Always apologize. Be transparent. Be authentic. You're really sorry about your experience. Typically, 98%, 99% of our customers are very happy based on the sheer number of our 4- and 5-star reviews. However, we'd like to make sure that you're taken care of. So please send that back. We'll make it right, or whatever the case may be. The consumers that look at those review responses to negative reviews, the shoppers, they want to see that A, you're listening to your customers, and B, you're solving their problems. Because most people are very realistic. They know there's going to be problems. They know things are going to fall through the cracks once in a while. They just want to make sure that you're addressing it. If they see 30 negative reviews and there's no response, they're going to assume that you don't take care of your customers. They're going to assume you don't listen to your customers. And therefore, they're going to assume you're not going to take care of them either. But if they see that of those 30 negative reviews, you responded, you apologize, and you made it right, then they're good. In fact, many times they're better than good because they want to see that, oh, if I have a problem, they can take care of me. And they just want evidence that you can take care of them like you have others if there's a problem. So don't shy away from negative reviews. It's all in how you handle it.
That's a great point. And if you have a lot of reviews and you have a team that handles that for you, it's always a good idea to put together a guide. That way, the team that's handling the reviews knows how to answer those well. Great.
And take it offline where possible if they're just bombasting you and using all kinds of crazy language. Often take it all offline. Hey, call me. Here's my number, kind of a thing, or email me directly. Let's get this taken care of.
Yeah, that's a great point. So Marcio is asking, they run an adventure tour. There's an adventure tour operator, and their booking platform is from a third party. So it sounds like that's probably where the reviews are. So how does that impact their SEO since the reviews aren't technically on their website?
Yeah, good. In that scenario, I'm sure you're getting the contact information of all of your clients. So I would follow up with those clients and ask for them a review independently of the booking partner, because you want to own your own reviews. Unfortunately, with those third-party booking companies, they own those reviews. You can't export, you can't use those. They're getting the SEO value, you're not. They're getting the credibility. So you want to take control of that as much as possible and solicit your own reviews, videos, etc. And then you'll start to get your own SEO, and obviously you're not going to pay that booking fee through that third party, and you'll be in more control of your own destiny and your own brand reputation.
Perfect. So DJ, with that, I think that we're about the end of time. It looks like we've answered all the questions, which is awesome. So, we've got some time left. Why don't you go ahead and close this out? I'll close this out, but why don't you tell us a little bit about Shopper Approved and how folks can find you before we close out for the day?
Absolutely, thank you. Shopper Approved, shopperapproved.com. We're a trust brands company. We own several companies in the website security, cart abandonment, local reviews, and e-commerce review space. Shopper Approved started out in 2010, collecting ratings and reviews and product reviews for e-commerce sites. We've been a Google partner since 2013. We've collected over 55 million reviews and serviced over 27,000 websites. We have a unique proprietary review collection process that, like I said, collects up to 10 times more reviews. We also collect video reviews, product reviews, seller ratings and reviews, or merchant reviews. We have a Q&A tool, a FOMO tool, website security tool. So we bring all of those assets together into one traffic and conversion suite, or what we call the traffic and conversion stack, which is really an integrated turnkey solution to drive your paid and organic traffic and your conversions once they're on the website. When I say paid traffic, when you have stars in your paid ads, Google themselves says that you get an increase in click-through rate by an average of 17% just by having stars in your ads. We've got clients that say they get 19, 20+ % increase in click-throughs by having stars in their Google ads. Obviously, having stars in your organic search results increases trust, credibility, and clicks. So that's what we bring to the table, is we really are building trust and credibility throughout the buyer journey, from offline or off-page to on-page, and creating a better user experience, elevating your trust and your credibility.
All right, and with that, DJ, thank you so much for being here with us today. To all our watchers out there, again, you'll get the recording in just a few hours. It was a great conversation, great questions. I love it when the audience is just churning them through. We expect to follow up with all the questions from today's webinar. And again, stick around for that short survey. It'll only take a couple minutes. And with that, we bid you farewell. DJ, thanks again.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. We really appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye.